let me hop up and let them know. 1 second.
Oh, I didn't know we were going to stream now. That's cool, I guess.
We'll just give it a test run. It may end up...
I didn't know either. Excuse me while I surreptitiously slink away.
Do you want me to not stream? I will stop it if you don't want it streamed.
No, I'm good. I wasn't expecting it, that's all.
Okay. I'm back.
I don't have many followers or anything, so...
Now Logan just knows to dial up his sexual innuendos a little bit more than usual.
No, I don't want anything to change.
He's right.
Okay, so I'm ready if everyone else is, so let's just begin. Well, Jack, you haven't, or Logan, you haven't connected to the Fantasy Grounds.
He's on Discord only.
I'm not going to be able to Fantasy Grounds for at least a while. We're still out running errands.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and start then. Last time on the Castlevania Ravenloft RPG, Alexandra was brought back to life. She wanted to take a bath, so she went and jumped in a lake. And Jack had a very racially tense conversation in private with Van Richten before that actually spilled out into the rest of the company when they went back downstairs. And you parted with Van Richten on sort of sour terms. It seems that he definitely has something against Vistani, even though apparently a Vistani girl was important to him sometime in the past. And that girl apparently is strangling, or, well, could have strangled or wanted, had the opportunity to inflict pain on Jack Motley in Raven form. But she didn't.
She had her hands around little Jack's head.
Yes. Hold on. See, this whole streaming thing, it's already getting to me. Let me just paste that in there. Alright, the link is in Discord. Where was I? Oh, yes. Okay, so Esmeralda had Jack in her grips, but she sent him a mental message that included something about Van Richten, which, stayed her hand. Elias and Mr. Jeeves had traveled from the town of Crest up to a very interesting pool that seemed to be full of holy water. I guess it's holy, but you had a holy feeling when you were in the presence of the pool. As soon as you left the pool, you realized that was only that location that had that feeling. Elias had a connection to God, which he's been feeling an absence of ever since he crossed into the mist. So it felt like a very unique place. And then you exited Crest and began to scale the road up to the Abbey of St. Markovia, where Jack is currently talking with Esmeralda. Alexandra has stayed behind in the town of Crest to rest a bit. She's chatting with the family that is hosting her. The burgomaster and his wife and son don't have the mansions that burgomasters have when you saw in the village of Barovia or Valaki. Here it's much more humble. They don't really have a guest quarters. You can tell that you're imposing, and they really don't like outsiders. However, you're very convincing during this wine delivery about how it would be just wrong to leave you outside of the town and be turned away. Because it was getting late, it's best that they let you in. So you appeal to their humanity, and although they don't normally let visitors in, you find yourself the guest in the burgomaster's house. The village of Kresk seems like it's been built around a forest, or they've grown a forest within it. They're very closed off from the rest of the world. They don't need anything other than wine, and they're pretty self-sufficient. So with that, the Abbey of St. Markovia looms high above the small little village, and that is where we'll get back to our adventurers. So where would we like to start tonight? Does anyone have anything that they're eager to begin with?
Where is Elias and Jeeves' location in relative to the Abbey? Are we close at the door, or where are we at exactly?
You'll reach the door momentarily. We can go ahead and put you there now if you'd like.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So you're winding up the road. Let's see here. Why is my computer having issues? There we go. So coming from this direction, the road winds all the way up.
I just got a blank screen, Matt. It's just a...
Yeah, it's loading. It's being a little slow.
Okay.
Alright, is that showing up now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No?
Yes, like the southern part of what must be the churchyard and the compass at the top.
My fancy grounds crashed.
Oh, no.
No, it's back. It's back.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the south and the top part.
Yeah, okay. Well, over there on the left side, which is the north side, the road continues. The switchback road that hugs the cliff is 10 foot wide and covered with loose gravel and chunks of broken rock. The ascent is slow and somewhat treacherous, and the air grows colder as it nears the top. As you get closer to the walls, you see a gate. The road from the village climbs above the mist to the wide ledge on which the abbey is perched. A light dusting of snow covers the trees and rocky earth. The gravel road passes between two small stone outbuildings to either side, which stretches a 5-foot-high, 3-foot-thick wall of jumbled stones held together with mortar. Blocking the road are iron gates attached to the outbuildings by rusty hinges. They appear to be unlocked. Viewed through the gates, the stone abbey stands quiet, and its two wings are joined by a 15-foot-high curtain wall. A belfry protrudes from the rooftop of the closer north wing, which also sports a chimney billowing gray smoke. I can kind of show you what you can see beyond the gate. You
It's
can
not
see
too ominous at all.
you can see the outer walls here.
So you're saying the gate is unattended?
Well, you'll have to roll a perception check to confirm that.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Wow, guys, come on.
It's cold. We can't concentrate.
You currently don't see anyone there. Before we give Elias and Jeeves a full turn, was there anyone else that wanted to take any actions?
Well, might as well have Alexander join them. I mean, there's only so much you can do during a short rest, and I have all of my dice to burn, so if need be, I will just suck it up and hope Elias has his heals ready.
Okay, fair enough. On the way there, it's going to take you a while to catch up with them. They'll still be able to act. Was there anything that you wanted to do as you were leaving through Kresk?
No, just sightsee.
Okay.
But hurriedly make my way towards them.
Roll a wisdom save. Okay. You feel the urge to kill someone.
Oh, God.
Oh, fun!
It begins manifesting itself innocently as just easily dismissed thoughts of what it would be like to watch the life leave someone's eyes, because you've just never took the time to appreciate that before. And then you catch yourself thinking these things and you shake them out of your head. You know that you've seen too much of death, and it's hard to admit to yourself, but you think that you may be growing an affection for seeing it or causing it. It's creeping into your mind more and more often. And as you walk through the wooded streets of this this very small village, the forest looming around you is growing dark as the sun is set. It's not too long before you encounter a pool. It looks like a water source, a spring of where this village apparently gets all of their water. And next to it is a well, here, let me just pull up a better description of it. I've got a good description for this because Elias and Mr. Jeeves have already seen this. Yes, at the north end there. The pool at the north end of this village shimmers and sparkles. Even though the light is growing dim, it still looks brighter than anything around it. Near its shore sits an old gazebo on the verge of collapse, a wooden statue of a mournful, bare-chested man. It's paint-chipped and faded. He stands at the gazebo with arms outstretched, as though waiting to be embraced. And you see that the water looks extremely pure, and quite refreshing. You find your mouth thirsty. And yes, that was my straw, as I said thirsty.
Sound effects, yo.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to stop at the pool or continue your way to your friends?
Stopping at the pool sounds really refreshing, but she really would rather just hurry up and make her way towards her friends.
All right. And with that, let's see what Jack Motley was doing before Elias and Mr. Jeeves come knocking. You've actually had a bit more time with Esmeralda than it took them to get here. So let's see how this goes. The last we left you, you had rolled a 10 to try to transform back from your raven form into a human form. And because I was denied my cliffhanger, I admit, I overplayed that just a little bit. That was enough for you to transform just fine, although you can tell that it does take effort, and every time that you try to transform back into your human form, it requires a bit more willpower. So although you think a 10 worked this time, you're not sure it will in the future. And when that happens, you may fear the consequences. But you find yourself in the presence of this young Vistani. She's not a teenager or anything. She's definitely an adult. But you can see that this is the person that Van Richten had described to you if that person had been about, 10 or so years older than he'd last described her. A very beautiful woman, but you can tell that she caught on to your no normal raven getting into her room that had no openings. And although she's beautiful and intelligent, you think that unless you explain yourself quickly, you may find yourself in front of a worthy adversary.
Just a quick question. Does she have any of her weaponry about her?
You don't see any weapons on her at the moment, but a rapier is not too far away. You think that if she tried, she could get to it relatively quickly, within one round.
I'm relatively certain that would be a bad idea on her part, but on another note, stand up completely naked like I have to be at this point, and
Not completely.
probably...
You have your feathered cloak, which transforms with you, and you may use it to cover yourself if you so choose.
Yeah, Jack's not doing that.
All right, Jack has liberated himself from humanity's shackles of clothing.
More like Jack just doesn't care. So he's standing there, naked, and he smiles. Hi, I'm Jack Motley. Holds his hand out for a hand.
Roll a
That might be more dangerous than attacking.
roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
Please?
Oh, I guess I guess I have to do that. Let's see here. Jack Motley. Skills. Persuasion. Man, you just like me to roll your dice for you, don't you? Don't you remember how that ends up?
I know how it ends up. Not really an option right now.
Okay, well I rolled a 5, but you have a
Oh,
plus
God.
6, so that's an 11 total. She looks you up and down and smirks. She says, "Well, who do I have the pleasure of meeting?"
Okay, Mike, have you ever seen The Losers?
Maybe a long time ago.
All right, then this is a completely original quote that I am not in any way stealing from that movie.
Okay.
As she's looking me up and down, smile, and reintroduce myself once again, you have the pleasure of meeting Jack Motley. Are you liking the angle of the dangle?
Oh, Lord.
Oh no.
She says, I approve more of an obtuse angle rather than an acute one.
A very good answer. That being said, you appear to be locked in a room in an old abbey in the mountains. This is not at all where I was expecting to find you.
Find me? You are standing naked and apparently some shapeshifter, standing in a room closed with a woman that could easily destroy you. This is not how I expected to meet anyone. She begins casting a spell. You recognize the spell as Shield.
What is said spell?
Shield? It's the same one you use.
Oh, I love that spell. I'm not here to attack, I promise. Van Richten sent me to find you. Well, sent us, but most of the rest of us are back at the village last I knew.
Well, I'm sure you don't mind a few precautions then, and she casually walks over and grabs her rapier.
Please, by all means.
Without threatening you with the rapier, she just simply has it in her hand. And she says, I've been looking for Van Richten. How did he know that I was here?
Honestly, I'm not sure, nor am I sure how he's so fond of you, given that you appear to be Vistani, and he's not too fond of them.
Yes, well, Van Richten has a jaded past with the Vistani. My people have not always treated him well. If you knew the things that that man had been through, perhaps you would understand him a bit better.
I find that most people, when they understand each other's past, tend to have a little more understanding of the person overall.
And what is your past? I'm afraid I haven't got your name. You have me at a disadvantage.
You've told him twice already.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Alright, well, no introductions needed. She says, I'm Esmeralda.
And a lovely day to you. Well, as lovely as it ever gets here.
So, Van Richten has sent you to look for me, and you looked for me here in this abbey?
We didn't know she was there, by the way, out of character.
Well, as I just said, he sent me to look for you. We happened to come to this abbey. I convinced one of the little men out there that I was his imaginary raven friend.
Yes, the people that inhabit this abbey are hardly people at all, I would say. And have you met the abbot?
Not yet.
Oh, well, that's most unfortunate. You may be in a great bit of danger here. Where is Van Richten staying?
A tower.
And why is it, if you were not looking for me specifically here, were you coming to the Abbey?
Well, we are searching for a number of other things. Traveling heroes, I'm sure you understand.
Not yet. This tower you speak of, where is this tower?
Well, actually, let me rephrase. One of us is a traveling hero. One of us is more like a traveling bloodthirsty sociopath.
Hey.
So you're not.
And then
alone
a
there.
traveling thief who will steal all the silverware forever, and then there's me.
And what about you, Jack Motley?
I'm naked. All my things are bare.
Did you introduce yourself as Jack Motley? Am I forgetting the two introductions?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Continuity errors, man. That's what you get with this DM. All right. Well, she asks, well, do you always prefer to be as proudly naked as you are?
Actually, no. Normally I prefer at least a little mystery, but, well, not really an option after I come out of the furry form.
Feathered.
Feathery one, I mean.
Yes, well, I've heard it's bad luck to injure a raven. I had no intention of harming you. I just wanted to let you know that I had no idea that what you were, but as a surprise, I wasn't willing to take.
No,
any
I completely
chances.
understand,
My
and I
apologies.
admire your quick reaction.
Would you like to borrow some of my knickers?
Oh my.
Sure. I'm sure many men have tried to get in your pants. I imagine this is the easiest time most of them ever had.
Good one.
Well, you would be correct. And she produces out of her belongings a pair of granny panties. And tosses them at you so that she doesn't have to look at your acute angles anymore.
And Jack puts them on, completely unabashed, completely unashamed.
She blushes a little bit, and she says, so, why exactly have you come to this abbey?
Jack would remember. I don't remember the exact.
Okay, I'll let you think about it. Elias and Mr. Jeeves, you are at the gate. You don't really see any people watching the gate. What would you like to do?
So no one is easily seen in the little outbuildings around the gate. Like there's no windows, right?
Rolls of 4 or 5 will not let you easily see anything.
Yeah, you both failed your perception checks, guys.
Okay. So I'm just looking straight ahead at the iron bars, and I'll say to Mr. Jeeves, these appear to be unlocked. Should we just go forward?
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Well, I am asking a thief if we should press for that.
Yeah.
In any event, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be welcome here. It is an abbey after all, and we have business. So, Elias, in a somewhat lapse of judgment, pushes on the gate.
The gate screeches its rusty hinges, alarming anyone that would possibly be taking guard here. And you see those guards immediately approach you. They are hunched back little men. I would say little men only because they are the man size, but they're so hunched over and crouching. It looks like their growth has been stunted in some sort of way. But they begin hopping, not running towards you, very urgently. And what would you like to do as they begin to approach rapidly?
I will stop opening the gates and turn my attention to them. And my intention is to let them know that since I didn't see anyone and no one saw me until now, I figured it was okay to go inside.
You have probably about 2 seconds to say whatever you just said. How would you like to convey that to them?
I'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know someone was here guarding."
Okay, Mr. Jeeves, what would you like to do?
I am going to follow Elias's lead.
He's just going to meow at them.
I was going to try and be stealthy, but no. I rolled a 4. So
All right.
I'll just stand alongside Elias.
All right. Alexandra, at what pace are you returning to your friends?
A brisk jog.
Brisk jog. Okay, noted. Jack, you have had a bit of time before everyone else even arrived at the gates to speak with Esmeralda. And she is asking
Well,
you-
actually,
Go ahead.
why we came to the Abbey specifically, we've meant to come here, but we got a little tangled up in Valaki doing, well, everything. The burgomaster there is, to be completely honest, completely inept. But, well, we're seeking a way to defeat certain people with a liquid diet who rule this land, and they don't seem very pleased, and they don't like me in particular, although they are very fond of that traveling sociopath I'm with.
Tell me more about this traveling sociopath.
Have you ever heard the name Belmont?
I have, actually.
Well, she's the current generation.
Sociopath and a Belmont. That does not bode well for such renowned vampire hunters.
Oh, don't worry, they're all a little sociopathic, but you have to be when your primary weapon against evil is the whip. I mean, really, think about it. You have all the weaponry at your disposal to alchemically, magically turn into something against evil, and you'd pick a whip. Not a sword, not a bow, not even an axe, a whip.
It was given to our family, goddammit!
Jack doesn't know the full history.
Esmeralda says, "You know, it's not all about weapons. I could probably slay you where you stand without even having this rapier."
I imagine you'd have a little more trouble than you're expecting.
Is that a challenge?
Only in the fun way.
Don't piss off the Chipsy!
I think that if we began a challenge now, we would attract a bit of unwanted attention. You said that you haven't quite met the Abbot yet.
No, I haven't. I don't imagine he's friendly, though, from your, well, attitude.
Well, he's friendly. He's giving me this place to stay as long as I wish. He's very hospitable. And he's also...
Wait, you're not a prisoner?
No, I can leave anytime I wish.
Okay, because I was about to suggest a daring escape, and that just kind of throws my entire plans out the windows.
No, I'd much rather stay here and see what develops. I think that, I think the Abbot may play a key role in the salvation of this place.
So would you suggest we meet the Abbot?
I would suggest we kill the Abbot. And with that, we switch back to Elias and Mr. Jeeves. The small men begin hopping towards you, and seeing that you're not up for a fight and reaching for weapons, they stop on the other side of the gate just as they push it closed. And they look at you and say,
Why have you come here?
Wow, nice voice.
They sound like Chris Griffin. Oh god.
We came here seeking a lost person from the village that we traveled from.
We didn't take anyone from the village.
Wow.
I think they may have traveled here of their own volition with another companion.
Did you bring snacks?
Let me... Out of character, let me see if I have snacks. What do you like to eat?
Any snacks?
And the other one says,
Snickety snoogs.
I didn't catch that. What?
it sounded like Snickety Snooks.
Wow. I've got, let's see. I turned it to Jeeves. I say, I've got 6 days of rations. Do you have any snickety snoot, Jeeves?
I have several things that might be edible.
Rat on a stick. No, the frog on a stick.
That's a frog stick. I got wooded fingers. I got mincemeat pies. Let's see.
Yes, we have quite a variety of things. We got a frog on a stick. We have some very interesting pies.
Pies.
They began hopping around in excitement, and they said,
Pies. Frogs.
I can't
What?
listen to that anymore.
Give them the frog, Jeeves. I'm very curious of what will happen.
Okay, I'm gonna hand out my frog stick.
all
Frog on a
right.
stick.
Yes, the first one that can grab it fast enough begins to chew into the frog. But the frog is so old and really not edible that
Desiccated? Yeah.
it loses interest quickly, throws it to the side, and is ready for the pies that were mentioned.
Crunchy frog.
I look at Elias and see what his reactions would be.
You will find no better use for them. I promise you.
Elias is thinking that these things aren't completely human and not entirely trustworthy, so he nods at Jeeves and says, "Let's share with them some of our wondrous pies, Mr. Jeeves."
Okay. How many are there, Mike? 2 of them?
Man, you took them all.
I thought we had like 6.
Yeah, you've got.
Seriously.
I thought he had like 12.
I have 12 pies. I'm just wondering how many of
Okay.
these will.
Well, they can share some.
You know, child pies.
Yeah. I give them a pie each.
All right, 1 pie each. Surprisingly, because these pies are magical, they don't smell rancid at this point for whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's the quality of their ingredients. But you give the
can't believe we
pies
made him roll for that.
to these 2 flea men, and they begin
Human
gobbling
grade
down.
ingredients.
And one fails its will save, or its constitution save. It begins to slump into a dreamlike state, as you saw Alexandra once do when she made a bad decision to eat one of these things. And the other one is just pleased that it had something to eat. They seem distracted at this point. You could either walk past them or wait for them to finish. And what would you like to do?
I'll do this the proper way and see if I can, ask them if we could get entry now.
If you could what?
Gain entry.
Oh, gain entry. Yeah, they, the one that's left, the one that is not in a dream state, when you ask for entry, it says,
You should meet the Abbot.
and it opens the door, or the gate all the way, it creaks open on its rusty hinges, and he begins escorting you inside the inner walls here. To your right, you see a graveyard. Stunted pine trees grow out of the rocky earth in the graveyard near the foundation at the Abbey's north wing. The windows of the structure are cracked panes of leaded glass. Ancient gravestones burst from a thin crust of snow in the yard. Beyond the low wall that surrounds the graveyard, the ground falls away. The village lies 400 feet below, and the view is breathtaking.
I don't suppose we see Alex down there running towards us.
Roll a perception check. Yeah, you can actually see Alex on her way. She's made a good bit of progress.
Yes, so Elias will point out Alex to the short one, the guy that's touring to give them the show around or whatever, and say that she's with them, that they could let her in as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mike, I can't.
That's awesome.
That's really cool, yeah.
All right. So, would you like to wait for her, or would you like to keep going where he's escorting you?
We'll keep going for now. And while we are, Elias will ask, so what is your name? Where did you come from?
My name's Otto.
I'm Bellevue.
Like everyone else.
Otto from Bellevue.
Otto Bellevue.
Okay, you said something about an abbot?
Yes, I'll take you to the Abbot now.
Well, let's wait for Alexandra, and then we'll go see Abbot.
Okay, I suppose that'll do.
So, are you halting his progress on taking you?
How far is she from us at this point?
She had got up at least 2 rungs of that road. She might be on the last rung now. But I think it's a good time to get back to Esmeralda and Jack.
Can you make a quick intelligence roll for me?
Sure. Just basic intelligence, or would you like to use a specific skill?
It's remembering something, so...
That's wisdom.
Damn!
Let's see. Insight check. It's still +3 for you. You roll a 19. Total, that's modified. You rolled a 16 +3.
Jack snaps his fingers. Wait, I take that back. We were looking for you here because gypsy. No, they're not called that here. A Vistani woman at the seer pool did a reading for us and told us we'd find you here.
Ah, yes, that is a skill that I also have. And she reaches into her purse and she produces a deck of cards. And she says, "This is a gift that only Vistani have the pleasure of knowing."
Okay.
So you were seeking me because of this card reading and not because of Van Richten?
Well, the thief with the silverware was seeking you because of the card reading. I was seeking you because this Van Richten asked. I honestly kind of forgot until just this moment that you were even a thing, and I hadn't put 2 and 2 together until I'm standing here realizing we were searching for a lone Vistana, wandering the mists near St. Markovia's Abbey, and then searching for her mentor, and Van Richten was looking for his Vistani apprentice.
Well, that is obviously me. This must be a powerful fortune teller. What did you say her name was?
Yeah. Eva.
Ah, Madame Eva, of course. Yes, she is the most renowned of our people. Well, what did the cards say about me, aside from you finding me here?
You would be a powerful ally.
Indeed. Well, I suppose I can't challenge fate, then. So, if I was to be your ally, what would you have me do?
Come with us. Come see Van Richten as soon as we get out of here. I'm going to take just a quick step back, though, and say the Abbot is friendly, but you want to kill him?
Yes, I believe he may be insane.
Is he one of the really hunched over things?
No. I've never quite met anything like the Abbot. He's scary, to be honest. I don't think he's human.
Is he a vampire?
No, he's not a vampire.
Werewolf?
No, I don't believe that he's a lycanthrope either.
Mummy?
There's just something unworldly about him that disturbs me. Perhaps you should
Oh,
name
I
it
see.
yourself
So-
before we decide to do this.
Sure. I'm down for meeting an insane abbot. That sounds like a great time. My friends were supposed to show up soon, so either they'll arrive or we'll hear the sounds of battle. Either one is equally as likely, to be perfectly honest.
Well, we can go to the parapets if you wish to keep an eye out for your friends.
Sure, let's do that.
All right, you and Esmeralda go outside
Gonna be
to where
awfully nippy.
you last left your violin-playing drunken friend. He's nowhere to be seen. It looks like he may have gone back either into where you first met him or onwards somewhere else. But you do see your friends being escorted by another Fleaman-type creature, or man. And they seem to have stopped and are talking. It looks like they're delaying their escort inside. But it doesn't look like they've raised an alarm. You see that one of the Fleamen towards the gate is slumped over in a stupor, apparently in a state of bliss. And from this vantage point higher up, you can't actually see Alexandra because she's so close to the walls. She should be entering any time now. Alexandra, our focus shifts to you as you come to the gates. You see that they are closed. It looks like the Fleaman that is escorting your friends inside, which you can see beyond the gates, had closed it behind you. What would you like to do?
She's going to stop and glance at the one that's just kind of slumped over in a dreamy state and facepalm. Oh God, Jeeves, what have you done?
So
At
you've
which
been
point
there.
she's then, at which point she's then going to open the gate.
All right, you open the gates, and the screech of the rusty hinges do not alert the dreamlike state of the Fleaman closest to you. However, it brings the attention of all your friends, and they wave you over, and you can join them now.
Indeed.
Oh, there she is. This is the one we pointed out to you. Hi, Alex. You decided not to rest, I take it.
Indeed. I'm hoping you have plenty of heals ready in case we come across anything here that's not quite so friendly.
I have some left from before. It's been interesting so far. This is Otto.
Pleased to meet you, sir. I'm Alexandra Belmont.
Yes, I suppose we can continue on now. I'm going to roll a perception check and see if I can notice Jack up there.
Okay. Yes, you do, because you get a 20. And when introduced to the Fleaman, Alexandra got his attention, and he goes,
Snickety snooks.
and that's really all he has to say. You think he may be asking you for food?
Well, she does have some rations left. Might as well part with a few of them.
How many?
I'll give him another pie. What's the pie?
Oh God. Okay, she'll let Jeeves give him the pie then.
When you pull the pie out, he goes
Snickety snooks.
and rolls a Constitution check. He wins again. This is a very, very lucky.
Wow.
I guess, I don't know. Is it luck to be in the dream state or not? He devours the pie as he's bringing you closer and closer to the rest of this abbey. And you see that
Oh, really?
he takes you to what appears to be an entrance and opens the door. A 15-foot high curtain wall joins the abbey to the abbey's two wings, which you see the outer walls of this abbey. I guess I haven't properly shown you. Now that you're inside, you can see a bit more. In fact, to your left, you see some kind of garden gatehouse that stands in front of some gardens a little bit to the east. But opening the doors, he takes you into a courtyard. Let me reveal the courtyard to you. And you notice Jack on the parapets with someone else up above, Elias?
Mm. I will wave to him so that he notices me.
Okay. You easily notice him, Jack.
How many feet away are they?
Oh, they're only maybe 50 feet away max.
Okay. Wave. Shout, "Hey guys! I found her!"
Elias calls back, "Who is her?"
She gave me underwear.
Nice bloomers, Jack.
Oh, that'd be Esmeralda, Van Richten's friend.
And when she's introduced, she bows deeply to everyone.
What luck, I did not expect that.
Yeah, the smile on her face lets you know that she's already well acquainted with Jack.
Apparently.
Not that well acquainted with Jack. But well acquainted.
She is still smiling at me.
Well, he's half naked. What did you want us to think?
He's
Who
always
doesn't
like that.
smile when Jack's, exposed?
It is a laugh, right?
Jack, would you like to go down and meet your friends?
Hey, do you want to go meet my friends? Some of them are assholes.
It would be a pleasure.
The Crusader there tonight, but he is a Crusader.
Not a crusader.
You're not there yet. So would you like to go down and meet them all? She agrees, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Okay, and she takes you downstairs from what seems to be a barracks with bunk beds that have disintegrated with age that lie in heaps along the walls of this moldy 30-foot square room. And then you reach the lower levels after that. And then she takes you into the main hall. And that's where you heard the music being played by your friend that you made while he was drunk on wine. This ground floor is one large 15-foot square room with an arch-leaded glass window. A cauldron sits on an iron rack above a fire in the hearth, while above the fireplace, a mantel hangs a golden disc engraved with the symbol of the sun. In one corner, a wooden staircase climbs to the upper level, while in another corner, a stone staircase descends into darkness. Several chairs surround a wooden table that stretches nearly the length of the room, and wooden dishware and gold candelabras are neatly arranged on the table, behind standing which is a young woman with alabaster skin dressed in a torn and soiled gown. Her auburn hair is neatly bundled as to not touch her soft shoulders. She seems lost in her own thoughts. This is the being that you saw previously that gave you no direct look. So in this room, Esmeralda takes you to the outside in the courtyard where you see your friends. The courtyard here is thick with fog that fills the courtyard. It swirls as if eager to escape. The courtyard is surrounded by a 15-foot high curtain wall on which stand several guards with their backs to you, or so it seemed at first. It's clear now that these guards are merely scarecrows. Wooden doors to the north and east lead to the abbey's two wings. In the center of the courtyard is a stone well fitted with an iron winch, to which a rope and a bucket are attached. Along the perimeter, tucked under the overhang wall, are several stone shields with padlocked several stone sheds with padlocked wooden doors, as well as 3 shallow alcoves that contain wooden troughs. 2 wooden posts pounded into the rocky earth have iron rings bolted to them, and chained to one of them is a short humanoid with bat wings and spider mandibles. The quiet is shattered by horrible screams coming from the sheds. Otto
This is not
doesn't.
exactly the heavy I expected.
Otto doesn't seem
Well, this
to be
all
affected by the
seems
screams at all.
Terrible.
I would check that the well has water in just in case.
So you want to approach the well, Mr. Jeeves, and look inside?
Yeah, just in case, you know.
If you need to jump into it again.
Yeah.
Sure. You peer into the well, staring down inside of it. You can tell that it's deep. It's beyond your vision. It's dark in there.
Okay.
Drop something down. See
Yeah, drop a stone in there.
Okay, you grab a stone and drop it down. Let's see here.
You rolled a dice. This isn't a good sign.
Hey, now I'm always good at, like...
All right. Mr.
the
Jeeves
surprises.
picks up a stone and clack, clack, clack against the sides of the well. You hear the stone begin to ascend down. The sound of the stone eventually hits water, but it's apparently very deep. Before you hear it hit water, it took a few good seconds. The sound of the clacking rock has apparently aroused something that is inside the well. You hear a skittering begin to come up the well, and out pops...
I'm sorry.
Damn it, jeez.
What is the best description for what you're about to see? Something that stands about 5 feet tall, has wiry, spindly build. This, I think it's a male, has 3 red spider eyes on the right side of his face, while the left side appears human. He has a frog's foot in place of his left hand, and a taloned crow's foot where his right foot should be. He apparently climbed out like a spider and attacks you, Jeeves.
Kill it with fire!
Wow.
Roll for
Kill it
initiative.
with fire!
Well, that was fast.
What the
Yeah.
hell is that?
Sounds like a mission
Esmeralda,
of-
is the Abbot going to get angry if we kill this?
She shrugs.
I guess we'll find out.
So we're all rolling initiative?
You can if you'd like, if you're planning on attacking this.
Try and speak into its head. Saying, I'm sorry, we didn't mean to wake you up.
Okay. Message received. Who is entering the combat? Mr. Jeeves, obviously.
Yeah.
Does it look like it's going to change its mind?
It does not.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Excuse me, I have to go help my friends not die, apparently. You're free to join or not, as you please.
Sounds like fun, she says.
My current roll for Jack.
Roll for what?
Initiative.
Jack's initiative.
Yeah, your initiative is 18.
Jack's.
Jack's initiative.
Oh, Jax. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm busy. Hold on. I gotta find Esmeralda's initiative.
That's weird. My defensive duelist isn't auto-loading.
That's not good.
No, it's not. I will blast it anyway.
Just do it manually.
Yeah. There we go.
One second. All right, Jack. I got to roll initiative for you. It's at a +4, so it shouldn't be too bad. You got a 12 total. Okay, so first up to act before the thing has an action as it exits the well. Alexandra, you are first to do something.
Yeah, she's gonna whip it.
It's actually pretty far away at this point. Would you like to run up to
Well-
it and then whip it?
Sure.
Okay. You approach it, and do you see it in the combat tracker?
I do.
Mishka Milview?
Yeah.
Has a name.
Damn.
All right, you missed.
Okay, second attempt.
That's a hit.
Alright, that's it.
All right, 9 points of damage as you crack your whip. It doesn't seem to have much of an effect on the thing. But now it is Esmeralda's turn, and she is not going to waste any time. She casts a streak of... Let me see. Let me make sure I can do this. Yeah. A streak of lightning erupts from her fingertip, and the lightning bolt... Let's see if it hits. Oh boy, that's hard to do without a map. Dexterity save at 15, fine. No, 14. You see the thing try to dodge it. And it does. It dodges the lightning bolt. However, let's see what happens on a successful save. Half as much damage.
Oh.
Yeah. Thunder cracks as lightning streaks, and you see the creature dodge, but it still makes plenty of damage as the lightning bolt begins electrocuting the creature. Let me just apply the correct damage here. There you go. It looks wounded at this point. And Esmeralda looks to Jack and grins. Mr. Jeeves, it's your turn. This thing's right in front of you.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and attack.
Alright, that's a hit.
I guess it's not being strafe or anything. There's no advantage.
No.
Has the
don't
IP address or connection information changed at all?
Yeah, in the Discord chat, there's a new passphrase to get in. Okay, Mr. Jeeves, you have
Max
destroyed
damage.
the thing. Yes. Your rapier pierces one of its eyes. And just as it does so, you notice that Otto has produced another pie from your belongings, and he begins munching down on it. It successfully stole one of your pies, but yet again, it passes its save and does
Please
not
just get rid of them all.
enter the dream state. So remove another pie from your inventory. That's what, 3 pies down now?
Yep.
Four now.
Okay.
Because the 2 initially
four.
and then 1 last time, and 1 stolen.
All right. Well, the creature drops dead in front of the well.
Alright.
In between chomps of the pie, you hear,
Mishka was an asshole anyway.
Something was an asshole anyway. I didn't catch the rest of that.
It was Mishka. Mishka was an asshole.
An
Anyway.
NPC's name.
All right. That name sounds familiar. Did any of us recognize the face?
Sounds familiar. But...
Recognize the face? Do I need
The
to
mutated
describe-
half spider face?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Is he wearing?
half of it was human, half was spider. From my description.
Is he wearing anything? Is there anything on his body that we can?
No,
take?
he's naked.
Oh lord.
Oh.
I say he. It's not very obvious unless you check. Body
Jack
type-
checks.
Of course he does, because why not?
Yes,
Jack,
check.
are
I'm just
these being some kind of arcane experiments of chimeras or something?
I'm going to be perfectly honest and said I've never even heard of something like this that I can think of. Give me a second.
Jack, roll a perception check.
Please, I'm trying to log in, but it's not working very well.
Forgot I've got to do that for you.
I gave him the password, he's working on it.
I'll go ahead and make it for Esmeralda instead. Yes, she rolled a natural 19. So she lets you know that the abbot is behind you in the room that you just came from. The main hall that you saw the figure of the woman in that really was not quite all there. Looks stitched together. I think you refer to her as some kind of Frankenstein. So you have...
Yeah.
Everyone has a moment as combat is ending to do something before you meet the abbot. What would you like to do?
Jeeves, do you have my pants?
I do. Yes, I'll hand over all of Jack's belongings.
So they're in that hall?
No,
Yeah, they're
by
in the main
well.
hall that I had revealed.
Well,
Jack will then, if he has time, take the underwear off and hand them back to Esmeralda while he gets dressed in his own clothes.
well, the first thing Alex is going to notice is that sun disc.
You're not in that room yet. You're still out in the
I
courtyard.
thought that was the main hall. Okay, never mind then.
Nope, still in the courtyard here, you see that the creature chained to the post I mentioned earlier flaps its leathery wings and takes to the air, but doesn't get far before its chains go taut. She flutters about madly, screaming nonsense.
Poor thing. Should we put it out of its misery?
So what was
No.
What was Esmeralda's perception check for earlier?
She noticed that the abbot had begun coming downstairs and is not too far behind her and Jack, just beyond the door that they just exited.
Okay.
You also see some old troughs that I mentioned earlier, and what appear to maybe some kind of sheds. You think you may hear chickens behind them.
AKA wall meat.
Yeah, I guess chickens technically are wall meat. The most delicious kind, especially if they're still clucking. You know that they haven't been rotting in a wall for God knows how long. Would anyone else like to do anything before you meet the abbot? Jack is getting dressed. He
I'm just
removes-
standing, I'm putting my weapons away and acting normal.
Yeah, same.
I'm kind of on edge.
What's that, Jeeves?
I say I think I'm kind of on edge because I just startled a creature out of the well. Who knows what else is here? I might go stealthy just to be sure.
Alexander's going to stand behind Jeeves.
No, not stealthy.
Because, you know, that's the perfect position to both use him as a human shield and access backstabbing.
Yes,
I'm
lady.
planning on facing the abbot head on.
Okay. Yeah, Esmeralda lets everyone know that She says, "The Abbot," and the tone of her voice conveys that you're about to meet someone, and that she's not exactly sure that's a great thing, but he emerges from the doorway. The man you see has a stunning presence. Let me show you what he looks like.
Stunning presence, fabulous hair.
He does have fabulous hair. You're
wow,
actually
yes.
confused for a second to see exactly what gender he may be, because this is the most beautiful creature you've ever seen. His golden hair and his fair complexion stun you for a moment, and you think immediately that this is something that isn't quite human. It's terrifying, to be quite honest. It feels like it's something from some other world. He walks out gracefully, not in a threatening manner, and he spreads his arms in a very non-threatening way and says, "Welcome to the Abbey of St. Markovia. I am the Abbot. What brings you here?"
Good evening, sir. My name is Alexander Belmont. We've come here in search of a few people, actually, and we have some questions for you.
Ah, guests. Well then, please, come into the main hall and have a seat. And he dismisses Otto. It says, "Thank you, Otto. You may return to your post." And he says,
Sniggity snooks.
and runs off. He hops away. 2 short hops first, and then a long hop, followed by 2 short hops backwards, and then a long hop, until he's back to his post.
Otto is awesome.
Just out of character, Mike, Hugo made something that I have to show you afterwards.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So is everyone going to follow the abbot into the main hall?
Yep.
Elias is speechless. He's holding his head sideways and barely begins to walk.
Okay.
You seem a bit stricken, Elias. Something on your mind?
This man is certainly not what I was expecting. He has quite a presence to him, and I can't quite ascertain if he is holy or evil.
All right. As you enter the main hall, you hear the gentle sound of music begin again, as if Jack, your previous acquaintance, has begun his drunken music playing again. For those that hadn't seen it until now, this is a very large ground floor, 50-foot square. Its arched leaded glass windows are very beautiful. There's a cauldron that sits on an iron rack above a fire. And above the fireplace hangs a golden disc engraved with the symbol of a sun. In another corner, a wooden staircase climbs to an upper level, while another corner descends into darkness with another staircase. Several chairs around a wooden table stretches nearly the length of this entire room, and the abbot invites you to sit there as he takes one of the heads of the table. You see wooden dishware here, golden candelabras neatly arranged, and you are in the company of a young woman with alabaster skin, dressed in a torn and soiled red gown. Her auburn hair is neatly bundled, as if she's been done up like a doll. She makes no notice of you. Her eyes don't focus on you or anything. She simply remains there. Upon further inspection, you see it looks like she may have been stitched together.
Where in the room is she standing?
She's sitting across from you at one of the chairs at this table. At the bottommost part on the map is the chair that the abbot has taken, and he is inviting you all to sit down as well.
Um,
Okay.
Elias will move to take a seat, but he fixes his eyes on the disk of the sun above the hearth and glances at Alexandra. He recognizes that from her fortune.
As does she. That's the first thing she notices about the room.
Jeeves is looking at it, but not for that reason.
It's just shiny.
Yeah.
Hey, you can take the disc if you like, but whatever's behind it should be mine.
So we're taking a seat.
Okay. You're all taking a seat as guests here, and the abbot's voice is musical. Everything that he says seems there's simply no way to misunderstand anything he says. And he says, "Welcome to the Abbey. Who is it that you are looking for?"
Well, firstly, sir, we seek the sister of the current burgomaster of the village of Barovia. Her name was Lisa.
I'm afraid I have not met the person that you are seeking. I'm sorry.
What of another girl by the name of Gertruda with dark hair?
Afraid that's also another name. I don't get many visitors out here. It's a very secluded village, and I don't visit it often.
I see. And just to confirm once more, you haven't seen a girl with an appearance very similar to the one here with us?
You are the first visitors that I've had in probably a decade.
Wow. A decade. So, Esmeralda, you've been here for 10 years.
Not counting the burgomaster and his son.
Well, present company excluded, of course. When I say you, I mean all of you.
I asked Esmeralda, she's been here for 10 years.
Oh no, I've only just arrived recently, not much before you, actually.
Huh. Abbot, sir, if you don't mind my intrusion, what exactly is the purpose of this place?
Well, Saint Markovia had to build this place, and I was sent here to speak to Saint Markovia long ago. However, it seems that he has passed from this world. I am trapped here now, and this is where I stay.
And what of the things outside, the inhuman constructs that live here?
Yes, the Bellevues. They were here before I was. The inbreeding and odd experiments their ancestors had used have left some of them quite twisted and deranged. I can't quite bring myself to destroy them, though.
I see. And what are in the sheds? I heard some screaming outside.
Well, I suppose you're not talking about the chickens, but the rest of the asylum that I've created for the other Bellevues.
I see.
Are they not well fed, sir? The few of them that we have encountered seem rather hungry for snacks.
She means the short and stout, hunched ones.
Yes, food is in not great supply here, and I tried to get Clovis to feed them as much as possible. That is his duty.
Are those men also of the Bellevue family? They seem different.
Everyone here, aside from me, are Bellevue.
Even the young woman here at the table with us that hasn't spoken a word.
That is Vasilka. She is my creation.
Creation.
Yes, sometimes the Bellevues get a bit too explorative in the village below. They dig up corpses and bring them here.
What?
Well, the Bellevues are quite deranged, but They don't harm anyone. They were just corpses.
So she's not among the living.
Not exactly.
Then what, pray tell, is she?
She is my experiment. Perhaps, eventually, the salvation of this land.
Salvation of this land? How so?
I think that the key of salvation for this place will be Strahd. Not destroying him, but appeasing him for a time. This is to be his bride. I'll make her as perfect as I can and offer her to him. I believe that the source of all Strahd's pain originates with the wanton love that he had for his brother's bride. And when he could not obtain that, it left him unable to move on. Perhaps if he experiences that, he will see that it is time to move on.
So I take it you are trying to fashion an immortal copy of Tatiana.
Exactly.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Abbot, but he seems quite fixated upon this Lisa that we're trying to find.
Strahd has his fixations, yes, I agree.
It seems that the Abbot is seeking a permanent solution to a common problem, a chronic problem.
Yes, if he could be pleased with this that I have made, I think Vasilka has a good chance of preventing him from seeking other companionship. I only need to give her more life. Tell me more about this Lisa you speak about.
Jack's gonna butt in there and say, so when you say give her more life, how do you mean? And how fresh are the ingredients when you find them?
I'm afraid the ingredients aren't as fresh as I would prefer, but they're the best we have to work with. And by more life, I think that if I find a worthy soul that perhaps is the reincarnation of Tatiana, if I bind that to this golem, that it can take on a life that is not normally granted to any regular golem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm granted very special gifts.
And if you can't find Tatiana's soul, then what?
I believe that souls are trapped here, as am I. I cannot leave this place, and I do not believe that any souls may either. It's only a matter of time before Tatiana is reincarnated into another body. And when that soul finally passes naturally, I intend on binding it to this golem.
I see. Now, you said you traveled here to speak with the saint, Markovia, originally. From whence did you come?
Jack, did you have an interjection before he answers?
The exact same thing.
Pardon? You were just wondering the same thing?
The exact same question, yeah. So you said you were sent. Who fucking sent you?
Why, God himself sent me. God himself sent me to make sure that Saint Markovia was fine. And when I entered these mists, I find he has perished, and I am unable to leave. This was many, many years ago.
What God specifically? And do you mean like God himself, as in you were standing in the ether with him? Or like you heard a booming voice? Or...
Let's just say I'm quite familiar with God, and I mean the only God.
So you're an angel?
He doesn't answer.
So I'm going to start saying angels of various tiers, and you just stop me when I get to the one you are, okay?
That's not necessary. It doesn't matter. What matters here is that I have guests. Are you hungry?
I am a little hungry, but I like to know who's feeding me, generally speaking.
Well, Clovis will provide food for you.
One more thing, if I may, Abbot. If you excuse me, I am a priest myself of the faith. Far removed from the standard Catholic practice, we are actually starting up a different movement. We serve the same God, so you have my respect, at least as far as I can tell. You're doing your best here. Elias is trying to be as respectful as he can. So, my main question is, though, do you have anything against the removal and the destruction of Strahd? Because that seems to be the utmost solution for good. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely not. I believe you're just simply mistaken. Your foresight is that of a mortal. And if you remove Strahd, don't you think that the powers that had set him to be what he is today would not force someone else to be in his place?
I volunteer.
Okay, Katniss Everdeen, sit down.
From
Yes,
what I have
I believe
read,
that would create quite a power vacuum, and there's also the possibility that this entire realm may simply disappear from existence. Everyone within it, you and I and every citizen of this damned land, may be wiped out. How apocalyptic would that be?
I don't think a contented Strahd will dispel the mist and free the land of the curse. It may, still his hand as far as making it worse, but it will not solve the problem.
Where do you think all of these souls would go should this place disappear?
I would hope that they would go to see your father.
Everyone must eventually, but all of these souls at once, that is simply mass murder.
The murders have been committed and they are trapped. It is as much of a travesty that they are stuck here as it is that they would be seeing the afterlife all at the same time.
This would include yourself.
If I was to perish, I can't know what would happen if Strahd was defeated, but I cannot discount the fact that he is evil.
I cannot discount the fact that if you would sacrifice yourself to destroy him, that is noble, but yet sacrificing everyone in an entire land to destroy him would be evil. I can't allow you to do such things. And if you are an enemy of Strahd, this is the plan that you have for him, I'm afraid you have seen your last sunrise.
Oh.
Okay, quick question. My mental voice, what does it sound like?
That's up to the spell description that you use to cast that.
It's not a spell. It's a class feature of the new class I took. Under the particular variation I took. And it doesn't say at all. It just says that I can communicate mentally.
It would sound like your voice.
Okay. Can I try to make it sound like something else?
I would love to hear your God impression, if that's what you're getting at.
That is exactly what I'm getting at.
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
This can only end well.
Oh, man, this is not going to go well. Logan, if you don't roll a natural 20, I'm going to smack you.
Oh no, hang on. I'm not going to that stage yet. Words. Jack will stand up and say, "The Crusader does not speak for her party. At the end of the day, he will do what is best for all of us."
Yes, and the abbot was still addressing Elias and waiting for a response, but just to add to the effect, he says, "I've seen my last sunrise long before now, in the days before I crossed into these mists."
It should be noted, too, that Elias is casting no shadow. So if that doesn't strike somebody as odd, I don't know what is.
If someone were to bring that up, Elias would tell them what happened to him. But Elias's response would be, "I understand what you mean. I have seen my last sunrise as soon as I crossed into the mist. But How can you be so convinced that this is what would happen? Has God revealed this to you personally?
I am not boastful enough to say that I know exactly what God's will is, but I have lost communication with our Father since I've crossed into these lands. It is a theory of mine. I believe that it is a good possibility, and even if it wasn't true, you still must consider that whatever powers that be created this land must be greater than Strahd and would seek someone else to be their figurehead. I don't believe that it would be your friend there in the cloak of feathers. Don't believe that he is quite as powerful as one that they would wish to corrupt, such as I.
Yes.
Are you saying the task would fall to you then?
I'm afraid that may be a possibility. I simply can't allow that to happen.
Seraphim, cherubim, throne.
And what if you were to escape before the powers caught on? What if you were to flee the moment Strahd was defeated?
I know not why I'm trapped here, why I was sent here to deliver a message, and am now confined. But I do know that to break from this prison would be against the will of God, so I cannot allow that to happen. If you are an enemy of Strahd, that is fine. If you wish to see his demise, I cannot allow it. It is more wise of me to make sure that you never leave this room if that is the case. Esmeralda looks at Jack. You know what she's thinking.
In her mind, I say, with a nod or a shrug, do you think this thing should die?
You use your mental voice to ask her this?
Yes.
The look in her eye and the slight nod she gives you lets you know that she thinks that this dude's insane. He at least thinks he's an angel, and apparently you can't kill Strahd. He's threatening your lives. All of this culminates in the nod that she gives you. She isn't ready to... she's ready to do whatever is necessary.
Sir, I must withdraw all respect I had given you earlier. Any man that would say that the will of God is to protect evil is insane.
What do you
Actually,
know
Crusader, I might argue with you.
How dare you question God's will? You are but the clay. Does the pot ask why it has no handle? How it was fashioned and for what? I have spent longer than you could possibly imagine in the presence of God himself. How dare you speak to me?
To those who believe, no proof is required. To those who do not, no proof would be sufficient. That being said, you claim to be an angel, but you won't even tell us where on the hierarchy you fall. I think I might trust, say... trying to pull a theology. I might trust a seraphim significantly more than a power, specifically.
Well, it seems that you wish to address what I am. I have made no claim as such, but I suppose being in the presence of God for so long only makes it obvious. And he stands up, pushes his chair behind him, and you see the full form of what he transforms into. His monk robes dissolve, and instead wings sprout forth. A fiery sword appears in his hand, a halo above his head, and multiple wings sprout from his back.
How many is multiple?
You see 6.
Seraphim.
Oh, fuck!
Great.
Jack does not say that.
Jack's magical voice does.
Actually, yes. Jack's magical voice in Elias's head is fuck, at least an archangel, fuck, this is bad.
6 wings equals Seraphim.
Kill us, Crusader!
As he transforms, the sight of him and the sound of his voice frightens all of you. You all have the frightened condition.
Great.
Oh, God.
standing in the presence of an angel shakes you down to the very core of your being.
This can't be right.
And his
Abbot,
voice
my
says,
apologies. My friends are idiots.
he says, "It is so long before I get to entertain guests. What a shame that you have to be so rude."
Abbot, I apologize for my friend's words. But at the same time, understand that we are but mortals. We can't know the glory of God. If we were to hear his words, it would slash our ears. See his presence, it would slash our eyes. To know his presence would destroy us utterly. He is beyond us. And you have
Jack, enough.
more of him in you than most of us would ever be able to comprehend.
The angel opens his piercing blue eyes and looks at Elias, ready to hear what you have to say to interrupt Jack.
The water in the pool in the village, is that your doing?
That is only by the will of God that exists. It's not my doing.
I see. Jack, I do not feel this being, whatever it is, as scared as I am, and as much as I dread this encounter, I don't think it deserves your words. I feel the sincerity in this being's voice. I know it is utterly convinced of what it says, but I cannot search in my heart that what he says is the will of God.
Crusader, it is your faith that has gotten you through everything. Is this truly what you believe?
Yes.
All right. I think the time of words has passed. Elias, what are you going to do?
Jack turns to the being and says, Elias says you're a dick.
Elias, what do you want to do?
Oh, good lord.
Would you fight us, Angel, over the matter of taking out evil from this world?
I will not allow you to attack Strahd.
For your own cowardice?
For the good of all of the people of this land, and
Alexander.
for what may come that will
From
be
what you've
worse
said thus
after.
far, you would not wish Strahd dead because you worry that you would have to take his place. Could that not be the will of God? He sent you here himself.
Yes, God sent me here to stay in this prison eternally.
God does not
Would you not call that the will of God?
It is the will of God, and that's why I'm here.
And you think that God would truly approve of Strahd's actions?
Do you think that angels are infallible? Certainly you know that Satan had fallen, and many angels with him. Could you imagine if I was the Dark Lord of this realm? What havoc I could wreak.
You almost
I
sound
think-
like you're looking forward to it.
I think that the mists choose perhaps the most powerful in the realm. Yes, I do not think they pervert your mind any more than it may already be. Jack would say, pervert one's mind more than it may already be.
Oh, good correction.
Power
It's quite
corrupts.
insulting.
Nice catch, Logan.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yes, that's what Jack was finishing with.
I am simply a messenger. But I wish not to harm anyone. As long as you decide
Put
to
down the
not,
flaming sword.
to not attack Strahd, then he's not threatening you with the sword, he's just holding it. If you can promise not to attack Strahd, we have no problem.
Alexander has her fingers crossed under the table.
That is a promise I cannot make.
Yes, Elias, what would you like to do? You've spoken your words. Would you like to take action? And is that action to simply stay seated?
Please do not piss off the Seraphim.
I will stand up from my chair and turn to leave the room.
Okay. He allows you to
You
leave,
must-
and
You must excuse my friend, Abbot. We've seen precious little miracles since we've arrived here in this land.
I can understand one's will to destroy evil. However, his foresight lacks forgiveness and understanding. Strahd was once a mortal, given immortality. You must understand that a measure of forgiveness must be possible.
I do understand, perhaps better than anyone in this room, aside from yourself, sir.
Elias, you reach the door. Where do you want to go afterwards?
He's kind of just pissed off. He just wants to get some air.
Okay. Outside, you don't get much relief as the bat-winged creature begins flying around on its chain and continues to scream and wail.
Does it speak a human language? I'll tell it to calm down.
I love how like a child is playing right now, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's flapping its leathery wings. It doesn't seem to understand whatever you're saying.
Okay, so Elias will sit on the steps outside of the front entrance and begin to pray and try to seek out what he should do.
You feel a distinct lack of the presence of God here. Your mind goes back to the pool that you had once taken water from. And
Right.
The absence of God feels only stronger now that when you want it the most, you can't seek it. You can't gain it.
And I didn't feel that at all in the presence of the abbot, correct?
You feel the exact same when you're in the presence of the abbot. As
Okay.
disconnected as you normally are in this land, but only painfully so now that you wish to seek his counsel even more.
Right. And out of character too, well, kind of in character as well. Like everyone here has been caught up on the Tome of Strahd and stuff that Elias has read and translated. Right. The other characters know that stuff.
Yes, you relayed that to all of them. Was there a specific part you wanted to highlight?
Well, not especially, but I wanted to remind them of how, like the angel guy just said that it wasn't like Strahd's fault that he had bad circumstances, blah blah blah. That's not it's bullshit because the tome clearly paints the idea that he did this to himself. Well, in a roundabout way, he's a giant dick.
He is definitely a giant dick. Yes, Strahd's a dick.
But,
The abbot
yeah,
also
that
seems like quite the dick.
is an interesting dick though. But that's all for Elias.
God.
All right.
He thinks about going back to the pool, but he doesn't want to leave his friends.
Yeah, that might be unwise considering they may be in mortal danger. Depending on how this conversation goes that you've decided to relieve yourself from. The conversation that, as soon as you leave, your presence gives the abbot a time to return to his previous form. Without effort, he returns to the monk robes that you first met him in. His wings and all disappear, the halo removed from his head.
Well, that's a relief.
The sword no longer in his hand. But he says, "You must understand my position, that I cannot allow you to attack the lord of this land, and trust me, many before you have tried and failed, they've all met their demise. You would not be changing anything, but I could not risk it."
At least one has not.
Who is this you speak of?
A powerful mage I met, Jack would say, a powerful mage I met south of the lake.
Well, he certainly did not defeat Strahd.
I am certain it was not Strahd.
I don't involve myself with the goings-on of this land. I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's not what I asked you to put.
I choose to remain secluded here as much as possible. Although the Belleviews seem terrifying to most, I make sure that they don't cause any real harm, and they keep people, visitors such as yourselves, from coming here and disturbing me.
Abbot, how was it you were able to just give life to this construct?
A bit of arcane studies were involved. However, bringing life to it is a divine matter.
A divine matter that we're under the impression you performed before. On the Burgomaster's son, no less.
That's completely different. I believe it is God's will that the line of the Kreskovs continue to govern Kresk. It's a shame that so many of his sons have met their demise. Seems only fair that I bring one back.
Only just the one?
Yes.
You have the power of life in your hands at a touch.
I do.
Alexander's eyes widen a little bit.
Have you considered giving life back to Strahd himself?
That is not possible.
Why not?
He is cursed. Although I can lift many curses, I cannot remove vampirism from this being.
But if he were slain, he would just be an ordinary corpse.
If he was slain, you would invoke the consequences that I have previously mentioned.
I do not believe that this land would blink out of existence. Things don't tend to work like that. It's not the way of the world in general. I don't pretend to know God's will, of course, or the will of the dark powers that run this land. Most of them. But believe me when I say that things don't tend to just stop.
And what is your theory then?
I think it far more likely that the powers would choose someone else.
And you think that this would solve the overall problem of these lands? If someone else was the new master?
I can only make very broad guesses based on the laws of magic and the laws of nature of which I'm aware.
I've been here far longer than you have, mortal.
And has there ever been a change of power while you're here?
No, and I intend to keep it that way.
Strahd... I get that God works in mysterious ways, okay? I understand that. I've lived enough, but there is no way that Strahd is something of which he would approve.
Jack is repeating me at this point.
Yeah. Mr. Jeeves, what are you doing? You hid outside a long time ago. I don't know if you even ever came in here. You weren't seemed to be noticed whenever you made that hide check. It wasn't that great of a hide check, but depending on the place that you chose to hide, may have been good enough. Did you come in and sit down with everyone else?
I did initially, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was eyeing the golden disc. I'm trying to figure out how I can get the golden disc. While
Well,
they're talking.
He was doing it inconspicuously.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how stealthy I can be to like just walk around and.
you can do it stealthily.
out.
You can just casually explore. See how that goes.
Okay. Let me try casually exploring.
Yeah, I can't imagine Jeeves is involved in a theological discussion and Strahd's fate and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Not when there's gold around. How high up is this disc? I mean, is it?
It's just
high
above
enough
the
to, like-
fireplace. It's within reach. But you would have to walk basically all the way around the table and just basically opposite of the table from where you are now, and reach up to it. So I would say a deception check if you would like to do so, walking in that way, deceiving him from showing that there's purpose in your casual walking around while everyone's talking. Yeah, he has his eye on you suspiciously the whole time, but you find yourself in front of the shield.
Okay. So, yeah. I'm just going to look
Or
at the
disc.
shield.
It's not really a
and
shield. Sorry.
disc, yeah. Do I think he'll mind if I pick it up and look at it?
Yeah, do you
Maybe
want
not.
to try? What I think is not how DMing works. It's what happens when you perform an action.
Okay. In plain sight, I want to lift it up and just like look at it.
Abbot, could you bring anyone back to life?
Okay. Mr. Jeeves begins to remove the shield from the wall. The abbot looks as if he was about to protest, but Alexandra asks, could he bring anyone back from life? And he says, why, certainly, I can bring back a person every day, if I wish. If I believe it is God's will.
I see.
Why do you ask?
And is there any condition to this? Would they have to have been dead for some time, or...
I must have their body.
Would you be willing to travel outside the village to get it, or would we have to bring it to you?
It matters not, but I don't wish to leave this abbey. All I need is a simple body part from this person, and I can bring them back. Did you have someone that you believe is worthy of resurrection?
Nope.
No.
I do, in fact. Perhaps not right now at this very moment, but eventually.
Tell me more. Mr. Jeeves, your checks were not good enough to really
No,
notice
yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I can only distract him for so long, Mark. You gotta do better than that, dude. Sorry.
I know.
Alexandra, speaking into her head with a simple nod or shrug, are you speaking of Ezek?
She casts a glare to Jack as if to tell him it's none of your damn business.
I will assist. A simple nod or glare. A simple nod or shrug is required.
Actually, Abbott, now that you mention it, I do. Someone that perhaps should not have been killed in the first place.
Tell me more.
He was the captain of the guard of Valaki.
And why is it that you think he was taken from this world too soon?
He was corrupted by perhaps the dark powers of this land, of which we are not certain. But he was, even in his madness, still at his core, a noble being. He defended the weak when he could. He saved people. He alone stood as a beacon and a bastion against the darkness.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage, since I believe, Alexandra, you would like to assist him with this check.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mike, if I'm looking for something on the back of the shield or on the wall, is that perception or
Logan, really?
investigation?
It's perception, and you rolled a 6.
Okay.
It'll take a little bit before you're able to try again. Just let conversation
Okay.
go on a bit before you can try.
Yep, sure.
But the abbot does stop for a moment and say, you seem to have a curiosity with that disc.
Yes, I was just admiring it and wondering its purpose.
It's just decoration, and then he returns to conversation.
Okay.
So, Alexandra, you don't get to make a roll. It's basically just made
Okay.
with advantage from Logan.
That's
and,
fine, because mine sucked anyway.
And I only saw... Oh, no, it was with... It dropped a 3. So, you had a 3 and a 14. You think that you may at least have his attention with this person, but he's not quite convinced. He says, "Tell me about how this man died."
I mentioned that he was corrupted. He was given, from as near as we could tell, he was forced upon him the arm of a demon. And it's my belief that the arm corrupted him, corrupted his mind the longer he wielded it. He fought against it, but he was only a man. Eventually, all mortals cave under divine and demonic powers. It is the way of things. He did what he could,
If this
but even
arm
so,
was part of him for long enough, it may return with him.
but then the side of righteousness and good would have man among it, one who perhaps could be helped, redeemed.
Abbot, I was killed myself recently. I ran into him in the afterlife. He was being possessed by some sort of demonic parasite, which I defeated.
You were killed, and you were brought back to this world?
I was.
How was this
In Alexander's
accomplished?
mind, probably not the best idea.
I did not hear what you said, Mark. Or Mike, sorry.
He said, how was this accomplished?
My friends have a friend who has a very powerful spell.
Please explain. Magic is one thing, but bringing a soul back from the dead is completely different.
It was done at great personal risk. I cannot even tell you the depths to which this man must sacrifice to bring a soul back from the dead.
Elias, what are you doing at this point? Still meditating in prayer?
Well, it's a good thing he's not in there, because he wouldn't do very well at convincing them that Isaac was a great guy. We should bring him back. But, well, so he's walking around the grounds. I don't think he's going to go back in the room with the others at this point.
Just wanted to see if you'd be part of this conversation. Mr. Jeeves, go ahead and roll another perception check.
All right. Oh crap!
10.
Keep talking as you were.
The shield doesn't look, or not shield, I'm sorry. The disc does not look special. I don't know why I keep calling it a shield. It's not a shield.
No, I'm trying to see if there's anything else on the back of the shield or behind the wall or somewhere. Just like.
Okay. Well, trying to do so conspicuously is not as easy as you would assume it'd be. The abbot looks at Alexandra and says, I would imagine that coming back from the dead would put quite a toll on one's soul, one's mind.
It has, Abbot. I've been having unnaturally dark thoughts lately.
Would you mind if I exorcised these dark thoughts? I may be able to make you whole again.
Not at all. If you're able, then please, by all means.
Alright, he gets up from his table and begins walking past Mr. Jeeves and to the opposite end to where you're at. And he asks you to get down on your knees to pray.
Which she eagerly complies.
Alright, he takes his hand and places it on your forehead, and you feel all of your insanity lifted. You are no longer cursed with insanity. You find your thoughts are now clear and pure once again. You're your old self.
Yes!
He says, peace be with you, my child. and he goes back to sit down.
Thank
He
you,
says,
Abbot.
Now, with this darkness removed from your soul, do you still wish me to resurrect this person you speak of?
She thinks for a moment, but nods her head. Yes, Abbot, I do. My will for his resurrection runs deeper than that madness that you removed.
Then produce for me his body, or part of his body, and I will consider it.
I wish not to burden you with this now, Abbot. Perhaps at a later time.
Mark, roll another perception check.
Come on. Oh,
Nice!
So you
I can see.
does it matter how long dead they must be, Abbott? Could you lift insanity from anyone? Clear a fog of the mind.
He wasn't
Yes,
insane.
these things are within my powers as long as I have time to prepare.
So if Tatiana's body were found, you could resurrect her.
Yes, but resurrecting Tatiana that would be the best case scenario. Her body was lost long ago. Mark, you see that the disc that was hanging above the fireplace looks to be worth about 750 gold. It's quite an impressive piece of decoration. When you had lifted it off the wall, it took you a while to notice it, but you see a niche. You think that there may be something inside that niche if you were to reach inside there, and
Okay.
you want to
At
reach
which point
inside.
Alexandra notices.
Yeah, everyone sees Jeeves begin to reach into this little niche that you didn't really notice before, and he starts
Jack
pulling
throws
out some
himself
things.
at the abbot's feet,
Okay.
clinging to the monk's robe. He starts crying and blubbering. Hang on.
Oh god.
Oh god, he got a natural 20!
All right, Jack, what are you doing?
Wow.
Normally, you want to tell the DM what you do before you roll a natural 20 and automatically succeed on
Yeah.
it, so that you just can't do anything in the world. But you throw yourself down, and what do you say to him? This is why the DM
God
asks
damn it.
for
Ah.
checks, not you just make them up on your own.
No, just fuck.
I don't think
Pressure
so.
panic. Fuck.
Well, while Jack is just doing
Jack
some
is-
amazing, confusing
What
thing,
Jack is trying to do is absorb his entire attention. Stories of pleas, sin, people who have died. He's actually telling him about people who have died on the Uncorrupted, the land's effects on people, things Jack has been bothered by, but hasn't necessarily. He's putting it all in there right now.
Good
Oh,
idea would
boy.
be begging him to cleanse Van Richten's soul for what he's done.
Jack's gone to confession.
All right. Well, while Jack's doing all that great stuff, you pull out a superior healing potion in a crystal and electrum flask. It looks like it's worth about 250 by itself. And you find 4 golden candelabras hidden back there, each easily worth 250 gold. And you also find a what appears to be some kind of whip. It's shorter than a normal whip, and instead of it just having one strap of leather, it has several. And at the end of this scourge are several, not just at the end, but woven throughout the rest of its leather, are sharp pieces of metal and shards that you think would not feel very good if it was rending into flesh.
All right. That's a hell of a niche.
Yeah.
Jack is ending with talking about the mad mage that he found. The Mordenkainen.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Well, the abbot assures you, yeah, calm down, calm down. If you bring someone to me that has some impurity in their mind, I can remove it, I assure you. And Jack, you think that Mr. Jeeves, just looking out of the corner of your eye, has expertly sleight of hand stowed away all of these items real quick. You're not even sure exactly what he got, but you saw that he found something and stashed it away real quick.
I guess Jack doesn't have a.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Abbott. You have no idea what this would mean to me. Bringing my hero back into the world, it would... Oh.
Esmeralda rolls her eyes.
He breaks off her...
And kind of kicks at Jack. As if to tell you...
Jack says into her mind, come on, this is the performance of a lifetime.
Alexandra was watching Jeeves, by the way. She saw him stash all that stuff.
If Jeeves lets you see, his roll was so good, it's all up to Jeeves if he wants to show anyone anything that he was stashing away.
No one noticed a thing.
Yeah. As far as anyone can tell, Jeeves is just simply placing the disc back where it belonged.
On the wall. Yeah.
Even though, hey man, it's pretty shiny on its own.
I know, but I can't be too suspicious.
All right.
Thank you, Abbott. Thank you.
All right.
I'm gonna ask the Abbot if. I'm gonna tell him that I like this gold disc. Would he miss it if I took it?
Wow.
He looks at you and he says, "It depends if you leave or not. I think it's time your friend came back and we all had a good chat."
Let me go get him. All right. I'm gonna go outside to Elias.
Okay, Elias, you and Jeeves have a moment of alone time. Aside from the squealing bat person, creature, woman thing tied to the post.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out Scourge and tell Elias what I found behind the golden disc.
Yes, that was
Tell Elias, but not Alexandra?
well, we have the privacy for him to show me what's going on. Yes, that was in the fortune that the Madame Eva told us. That must be also the weapon written about in the Tome of Strahd. There was a spear and a whip hidden away by Saint Markovia himself, Longinus. This is some holy weapon. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but I think Alexandra will put this to great use.
Well, it was in her fortune.
Yeah, I know that.
I already pulled out you and.
Oh, dear God.
Alright. So we get to Alexandra.
Oh man, I'm lagging bad. You guys are sounding like robots.
We're just talking about the whip and fortunes and all that.
Yeah, I think it's time for me to kill the bots. The music has stopped anyway.
I'll wait for you to catch up.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
internet
kill the
quality's
bots.
going pretty down pretty good. I think this would probably be a good place for us to stop. It's about that time for me.
Aww.
Well, I'm sorry, but you guys are breaking up so bad. It's hard for me to understand you.
Just kill the boss.
Yeah, it's up to you, man.
Can you hear me just fine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Jeeves and Elias are outside. Jack, Esmeralda, and Alexandra are with the Abbot. Did anyone want to do anything before we wrap up tonight?
Alexandra.
Jack is slowly calming down, trying to figure out how to bring all of this together, because he's of the opinion that the Abbot shouldn't die, at least not yet.
I got half of that. Alexandra?
Alexandra's going to take the backhand out of her bag and place it on the table in front of the Abbot. This belongs to him.
Okay, so you have the hand of Ezek Strozny that you've placed on the table. This is the demonic hand, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have any opposition as you see the abbot curiously walk over to the hand? Jeeves, Elias, you're not in the room when this is happening.
No, we're not.
Moving up. Yeah. Oh, someone dropped off.
Well, now I can hear.
Jack's a little curious to see what happens, so no opposition from him.
Yeah, I'm going to tell Elias that the abbot doesn't want us to leave.
Yeah, Mike, is it better now?
Yeah, I can hear everyone just fine.
Yes, Jeeves, I caught that he doesn't want us to leave, and he thinks it's his holy mission, quote unquote, to make Jeeves a wife. I mean, not Jeeves.
Yeah, no wife for me. I'm good. I'm good.
Strahd is Jeeves. It all makes sense.
Oh, yes, I'm onto his idea. He seems sincere in an insane way. Is he summoning me back in there?
Yeah, he wants us all back in there, but I'm not sure of his motives. Out of character, though, Logan, that would be so weird. Chiefs was Strahd.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Plot twist.
Okay, so yes.
Well, I do want to go back in there, but not to speak with him. I'd like a word with Esmeralda. I think she may know more about the situation than the rest of us. I really hate to go back in there.
I do too, actually.
So he doesn't know you took these things?
Oh, no. Nope. No idea.
Very well done. Okay, well, just for you all's sake, I'll go.
Yeah,
back.
you're welcome.
Hmm?
Yeah, Jack did the distraction for Jeeves. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeeves rolled a 20, but okay.
It's good.
Well, Jack rolled a 22.
Well, he rolled a natural 20, so Jack got exactly what he wanted out of that.
Yeah. So, Mike, what did I get away with? 3 golden candelabra and the whip?
And a potion of healing, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
Cream healing or something like that.
Let me give you that treasure. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'll award this parcel.
Superior healing in a crystalline flask.
Uh-huh.
All right. The good old inventory sheet. The parcel. How do I award this?
All right.
Alright. I want to make sure this goes to Jack. I mean, Jeeves. That would be selling the items. I don't want to do that. Maybe if I just... Yeah, I can do it that way. But I'm not sure exactly where it'd go.
I'm just dragging them over.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, thank you. Just making it easy for me. You're not taking the gold sun disc, right?
No, minus the sun disc.
All right, and I've got a special one here for you. You can take that then.
Ooh.
All right.
That worked. Uh-oh, hang on. Might be having technical issues here. Don't think that worked. Dang it.
All right. So the abbot walks over to the hand of Ezek Strozny, the demonic hand, and he looks to you and he says, "You wish to have this man back in this world? You think it will be for the greater good and the will of God?"
Is Elias back in the room yet?
It's up to you, I guess.
He was corrupted and unjustly taken. So yes.
Is there a need to roll a deception, or is that what you truly believe?
That's what she actually believes.
All right. Those items didn't transfer.
No, they all went into one item, and it said like 7 of nothing. It was
Okay.
weird.
Did it increase your gold?
Sorry. Nope.
Huh.
Can you throw them back in the parcel sheet? In the parcel?
Yeah. I'm afraid it may have the same results, but I can.
I'll see.
Let's see.
If you put it in the party sheet, it works when you pull it into your inventory.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, I think that's what they were doing.
Let me try again.
Use the little shield thing. Yeah, don't try to drag the word itself.
Okay, that worked that time.
All right.
Okay, much better. Thank you.
Sorrowful Misery.
That's the name of the whip.
I figured. Hmm.
Okay. The abbot grabs the hand, and you see the form of a man begin to grow from the rest of the arm.
Wow.
Before you know it, you see the unconscious form of Ezek, and not but a moment later, he opens his eyes and screams in terror. He looks around, not knowing what's going on, and then you see the abbot continue to exert his will and his divine talents into Ezek. You think that it may be replenishing his health slowly, but after a few moments of concentration, Ezek sits up, gasps for air, and looks wide-eyed into Alexander's eyes.
I told you what my intentions were. They haven't wavered.
And that's where we'll end for the night.
Whew. Mike, this whip is awesome.
Yeah, it
I'm gonna
is.
play with it. It belongs to me.
Not yet, don't.
You don't know it exists yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, besides, you got your own present. Thank you very much.
It was her fortune.
Can't have
You
it.
got an Ezek! Hang on!
Yeah.
What is she gonna do? Throw him at Strahd? I don't think so.
I don't know, she might.
No,
She's kind of a crazy chick.
not anymore. She's not. She just got cured. Were you not present for that?
No, she got, well, I guess by the wording, she got cured of all impurities, so I was gonna say she was a little off a rocker before she died. Twice.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't.
It should be like Christmas morning for Alexandra today. I mean, she got her problems cured. She got this new weapon. She's getting Ezek back. I mean, what more can you want?
Well, hang on, and let the DM get back to describing what Ezek does.
No, we're stopping it there.
That's it. That's it for the night. He said.
The only other thing that you see is Esmeralda look at Jack like he doesn't look like she's got a demon arm. That's kind of the look that she gives you.
Once again, in her head, well, yeah, well,
But she does.
things
whisper
kind of
to
took
you.
a turn here,
She whispers,
and I'm not
to
sure
you,
where we're going.
obtuse angle.
Wow.
As
And
Ezek
as
has
this is-
obviously come back naked in his birthday suit.
And as this was happening, Jeeves and Elias were coming into the room, and
Alexandra does not mind one bit.
right, mouth agape, not really understanding what's going on. Mr. Jeeves can totally use this whip.
Hey guys, look who's back!
Belong to him.
Okay.
Well, y'all haven't seen my spear yet, so
True.
yeah. No innuendo.
Yeah.
Oh
Obtuse
God.
spear?
I haven't seen it either.
Good morning, Ezek. The Earth says hello.
All right, we're done. We're done for the night. I hope everyone enjoyed
Okay.
it.
Damn,
That was good.
it's not
Yeah, that was
midnight
fun.
yet.
That was the
Yay, I'm
first
actually
time
doing
we've
some
streamed
thievery.
it. I don't know how the stream went.
It's not midnight yet.
Where did we stream it on?
I streamed it on Twitch, but I wasn't looking at chat or anything. I have no idea how that all went. So hello, if anyone is watching.
They
on Twitch.
seem to like it.
Who's they?
Ancaria, Yugo, Lesteroth, Brainiac was watching for a while. I don't know if he still is. Let's see. That's it.
You can look at
Can I see?
the archives should have the chat come back up if you want to look at it again.
I'm unaware of Twitch chat archives, but I'll look into that. Cool.
Yeah.
Where would I find this?
I think we should keep going.
Nah, we're not
Yeah,
going to keep
so-
going. I
don't think I
would
have
like to go to
extensions on
sleep. I got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, we've been supposed to stop at 11 for a while now, but we never
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah, 2
Mike,
hours
what's
is
the,
when I want to stop.
What's the Twitch channel
Gone
called?
2 weeks without it though.
I pasted it in the.
I pasted it like 5
Oh, you
times.
did? Oh, my
on the
bad.
Discord, yeah.
Yeah, it's just Twitch TV/Zombie Mike.
Well, did we get to the Halloween stuff, or did you not do that?
There's every day is Halloween in Barovia.
Barovia. Yeah. Fair enough.
All right. Yeah. So Elias got to meet an angel. That's also a good thing, right? He's
An angel which he'd rather spend time insulting.
Hey,
Yes.
he cured Alexandra of all her ailments.
Elias is convinced that his convictions to God are of better intent than the angels, even if he is an angel, which is kind of crazy, but
Although that bloodthirsty, murderous impulse she really could have enjoyed if it kept on, just saying.
she kind of had that before to begin with.
She didn't.
Not really. She was a bit sympathetic to creatures of the night, but the real darkness only started after she had died. And hey, she can always get that way again. All she has to do is die. And, have someone
can we not
sacrificed to bring
do
her
that
back.
again? God, not again. I don't think I can get lucky enough to roll a 99 again, guys. Please don't.
Lucky enough. Lucky enough to roll the worst thing that you want to roll. By the way, that was...
wasn't the worst. That was great.
It was something to the effect of she found that she really enjoys killing people.
That was so great.
Yeah. That's not the chart you want to roll high on, unless you're you, I guess. Okay, alright, well, I'll see everyone next week.
Cool. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.